Hello guys, I'm Rupesh and I welcome you back to another video of Getting Along with Flutter. In this video, we'll be talking about stateless widget. We'll continue with the same project which we left in the last lesson. So let's get started. So let's first understand what is a state. The state is the information that can be read or accessed when the widget is built and might change during the lifetime of the widget. A widget is either stateful or stateless depending on the need. Like, for example, if a widget can change when a user interacts with it, then it's stateful. A stateless widget, as the name suggests, can never change. That is, those widgets whose state cannot be altered once they are built are called stateless widgets. These widgets are immutable once they are built, that is, any amount of change in the variables, icons, buttons, or retrieving data from any server or anything cannot change the state of the app. If this sounds confusing to you, then don't worry, we'll study about it now only. On the other hand, the stateful widget is dynamic. For example, it can change its appearance in response to events triggered by the user interactions or whenever it receives the data according to the application. Now you might be wondering that why are we only talking about widgets? Because Flutter's predefined widgets are built using modern framework. The central idea is that you build a UI out of these widgets only. And these widgets describe your work with great efficiency, and it will be really helpful if you use Flutter's predefined widgets with your small modifications. Let's create our own stateless widget for once and let's see how it's done. We'll understand the procedure by making this small application. Now, to make a stateless widget, you don't have to type a long class and all that stuff. All you have to do is use a shortcut which is STLESS. And the suggestion might be coming right away, and it's here. So this calls the class. Now let me name this class as test. Fine. So here I named this class as test, which is, and make sure that you follow the camel case procedure, which conveys you that every class name should start with a capital letter. Now this class test extends stateless widget. What does it mean? This class, which is defined by me, test, is a subset of a larger class that is stateless widget. This is the whole point. Fine. Now another thing to take a note for is the build function over here. Now what this build function returns is a container, which is for now is empty, which is an empty container. But the thing is that this build function does all the game. Like, whatever will be returned by this container will be showed in the screen. Are you getting the point? That this build function actually builds whatever is supposed to be returned by this class. Now there is an amazing thing over here regarding hot reload. You might have taken a note that in the last lesson I was complaining over the fact that this PC is taking a lot of time to play this application, like to run this application, and the hot reload over here is not working, God knows why. Now once I implement the stateless widget, the hot reload will definitely start to work. Now to make that happen, all I have to do is return this scaffold as the widget tree over here. Are you getting the point? Like, let me show it to you. I'll cut out this part, this whole scaffold, Control X, and then I'll paste it over here over the container, and it's here. There's a small error which is over here, that the comma is not necessary. We can only use the semicolon, and it's cool. Fine. There is a error over here too. We'll talk about it later, but the procedure will be something like this. This stateless widget will be returning the widgetry which is supposed to be shown in the application. Fine. And now we are supposed to check that. So let's check if this application actually works or not. As we define this class test as in like test for stateless widget, so let's check out that if this class is able to perform according to our needs or not. We'll call this class over here only. So I'll call test, and then this, and the comma. Fine. Let's run it once and see that if our app is showing us any error or not. And it's not showing any error. It's the same what it used to be. Now guys, why am I promoting hot reload over here is because of this function build. The basic science which works behind hot reload can be very well understood from here. The thing which works in the backend over here is if we change anything inside this widget tree, then what Flutter does is Flutter will not rerun the whole application. It will only check for things which are actually changed inside this widget tree. And once it gets them, it will only update them. That's it, nothing else. So that's what makes hot reload really fast, because we will be only able to see those changes which we actually made. We won't waste time reloading the whole application from the beginning. Hope you are getting the point, which is actually very necessary and which is asked in many startups while PIs and all, that why do you think that, what is the science behind hot reload and why do you think it is actually necessary? The science behind it is this build function. And why is it necessary? As I said, the whole loading the whole application is a waste of time, energy and effort. So what we need is to load the part which was actually changed for a bit. So that's what hot reload performs. Fine. Hope you got all of it. Now there is another thing which needs to be taken a note of, is this override. Now what does this mean? This actually states that Flutter will give first priority to the build context which is inside this class, instead of giving the first priority to the stateless widget to the build context which is inside stateless widget. Because as I said you that class test is a subset of this class, so of course stateless widget also has its own build context. But we don't have anything to do with that. What we want to do is we want to build the scaffold which is over here, or the widget tree which is present over here only. So our first priority which should be this only. So that's what this override does. Fine, it overrides the build context. That's it, nothing else. Now guys, let's do one thing. Let's play around hot reload for once. You see this floating action button? I don't want this text to be click. I want it to be hit me. So I write the text. All I do is hit save, that is Control S, and you see the magic of hot reload. It's hit me now. So it's literally very fast, and so now we can play around this scaffold. Let's change this text now. This is an app, it sounds really boring. I want this text to be like we are Groot, in reference to In reference to which Marvel movie? Could you please drop it in the comment box for once? And I don't want this text to be normal. Let me style this text for once. Fine. So I'll click style or caps style, and I'll text text style. Fine. And now inside this text style, I'll reformat my code for once so that it looks good to me. Yeah. So inside this text style, what I want to do is I'll declare the font size at somewhat like 40, I guess. And you don't have to think much about it. Once you type font, no, there are a lot of suggestions coming like font weight, font style, font family, and all. Let's take one of this font family, let's say for example, and I'll use something like it's a string, of course, and you can. Uh, for now, I'll use indie flower string, and let's say what else is available in font weight is available. For now I'll declare the font weight to be somewhere like font weight dot bold for now, and let me hit save and check how is it looking. Control S. Why is there an error on font family? I don't, sorry, on font weight. I don't get it. What's wrong over here? What's wrong over here? What's wrong over here? Oh my god, I missed the comma. It's a blunder. It's a blunder in Flutter. You can't miss a comma. It's a blunder. We are Groot. Great, cool, but I don't like the color for now. So let's change the color for we are Groot, and that colors will be somewhere like you get so many options. I'll choose. There are so many options. I don't know what to choose. Okay, I'll choose brown for now, and I'll hit the comma again. I'm not forgetting it this time. And let me hit save, and it's we are Groot. Fine. So you can play around these text and button or even the app bars, and it is really fun to work using hot reload. Let's say for the button I want to change the color of the button, and what I have to do is all I have to do is just hit here background color, and again what I did over here, I'll do the same thing over here, that I'll put colors, means I'll call the colors class, and then I'll let's say this time I use the color. So many options are there, I always get confused. Let's say I'll use this light green. Fine. And when I hit save, it's light green, but this time this hit me is not visible. So again I'll go over here and put style, then text style, and for that I'll call this function, and inside this I'll put color and colors dot black. I think black will do good. Yeah, I think so. Let's hit save for once, and yeah, it's black. And I'm repeatedly saying this, that if you have any doubts, make sure you ask us, drop us a comment, or you can email us too. There's no big deal. Fine, but make sure you get your doubts cleared. And for now, you might be having a lot of fun playing with hot reload and the colors and making different kind of UIs and all that. So I want you to do that because that is really necessary. Play around the UI of the application. Do as much experiments as you want. Go through the documentation and that will definitely help you. So this is Rupesh signing off. Make sure you practice whatever is taught over here and keep learning, keep hustling. Bye.